I've been driving FSD Beta for 8 months now. It's easy to lose sight that this is an insanely difficult task Tesla is trying to pull off. But having said that, some drives are better than others, and today's drive was filled with edge cases that were very challenging and somewhat disappointing to see that, Beta still has quite a ways to go to being, really an autonomous vehicle. We're going to be making a left turn here, and we're going to be following this minivan in front of us. Pay attention to the steering wheel on the left. We'll have an oncoming car. Wasn't sure if the car was going to try and make that turn in front of it, but you can see the steering wheel jerking back and forth pretty violently. That's really disconcerting when you're in the driver's seat, not knowing if the car is going to make that move at some point. So I hope that's going to settle down in the future updates. We're going to follow the cement mixer onto the highway. The car is going to slow down just a little too much into this turn. There's somebody behind me. The car here is an example that it needs to be more aggressive and fluid making this turn onto this highway. This is an example of the car not being aggressive enough. There's no car on the left or right, and it's creeping so slowly through this intersection, way too slow in my opinion, until it decides to punch it a little more aggressively than it probably needed to be. This is a phantom braking incident. The car thinks this is a 45-mile-an-hour stretch of road. In reality, it's 55, but keep your eye on the speed. It's going to drop from 54 down to 37 miles an hour for no apparent reason. We're approaching a tractor pulling a wagon. The car is going to do a good job of slowing down for it. As the wagon goes through the intersection up here, note there's a bridge out ahead. That'll come into play in a few minutes. I wanted to see if Beta would eventually go around the tractor, but unfortunately, I started to get cars coming up from behind me and had to take over and go around it. I would like to know if Beta was going to eventually go around this tractor. We're approaching that closed detour. Beta doesn't seem to be interested in making a right turn, probably would have gone around the sign, so I'm going to take over and make the right manually. You'll see the car starts at the green light, subtly pulls back and stops, and then goes forward again, but does make the smooth left turn. It's going to come up the road here a little bit, need to make a right. You'll notice that it's going to actually cut through the parking lot a little bit, but it does make at least a smooth, continuous right turn. We'll have a sign indicating one lane ahead, and there will be a flagger. Great opportunity to see how Beta is going to handle this situation. Ended up being about a mile up the road before we encountered this. Beta didn't seem interested in stopping, took over, regenerative braking. I was too close, had to push the brake pedal a little bit. So that was a little bit disappointing that Beta didn't handle this a little bit better. The car thinks this is a 25-mile-an-hour road when it's not, but it comes up on this stop sign way too fast. It was going to probably blow right through it. So I think I probably dinged my hard braking score for Tesla insurance, but handled this road well in the past in that stop sign. So that was also a little disappointing. This is an example of Beta not being able to read signs. This SUV is going to clear. It's a detour to the left. I'm going to take over. The car is just going to go around the sign. So we'll just turn around and go back. So a fail there, understanding a detour. Navigating around that detour, we need to make a left here. This is an example of the car is going to be a little less aggressive than it needs to be. It's going to creep up very slowly. There's no traffic from the left or right. Way too slow here before finally making the turn and giving it some good acceleration. Now we're going to encounter another edge case. I disengaged here right away because I didn't have any confidence Beta can handle this, especially with a police officer involved. So it would have been really interesting to see how it would handle it. Notice the tentacle is going to kind of flip left here in a second. Like it really is undecided if I wanted to go left or keep going through, but too bad I couldn't really have tested that situation. After a quick stop for a snack, we'll be exiting this alley onto the road. Note that there is not a stop sign ahead. The car is going to then jerk left and then want to go out into the street without looking. There was a car on the left there. I've noticed this behavior before where sometimes Beta will understand I need to stop. There's not a stop sign here. And other times it wants to charge out into the road without really looking. So this is an edge case that really has to be tamed. I will manually engage FSD. The car will find the correct left turn lane and then proceed to make actually a pretty nice left turn. The car is going to miss this green light, doesn't get it into the intersection. There's no opposing traffic. There's nobody behind me, so I'll let it catch this red light. When I do get the green arrow protected left, it does make a smooth, confident left turn, but disappointing that it didn't get through this light initially.
Got a truck from the right, a Jeep there. Should wait for that, no problem. Might have to creep up a bit. We got a camper coming. It's dawdling in the middle of the road. I'm gonna hit the accelerator again. See, honked at me because I wasn't moving. Because the Tesla is being a jerk. Come on, Tesla, that's ridiculous. Did you get out in the middle of the road and just dawdle there? Ridiculous.
This is a tricky intersection because we have another road coming in at a 45-degree angle that the car has to get through 2 stop signs. In a second, there's going to be a white SUV that comes up from that road on the right. I'm curious to see if my car is going to honor, because it was there first, and it does. I have to tap the accelerator to keep it going, but then the car decides to take off, and without really coming to a full stop, obviously, at that second stop sign. So probably have to call that a failure. This was one of those days where the drive didn't turn out as smoothly as I had hoped, but we did encounter a lot of interesting edge cases and shows that we've still got a lot of work to do with FSD Beta. Thanks again for watching.